Buckley.
Here.
Vice Chair Allen. Allison.
Here.
Cunningham. Dutton. Harris. Harrison.
Here.
Hefner.
Here.
Hinojosa. Kane.
Here.
Longoria.
Here.
Schaefer.
Here.
Talarico.
All right. Quorum is present. As a reminder, anyone wishing to testify before the committee, please register at the kiosk located in the hallways behind the hearing rooms. If you require assistance in registering or testifying, please speak to the committee staff. We've heard there may be a little issue with the kiosk right now. We're working with the committee offices to make sure that's up and running. So we appreciate your patience on that, but we're not going to close anything, so everybody will get a chance to register. Also a reminder that we go to the floor this morning at 9. So we'll wrap this up shortly before 9 because we'll have to be on the floor. So we will move through as quickly as we can. There'll be a limit of 2 minutes per witness during the public testimony period. And with that, we'll begin. Where's Ms. Howard? She's here. All right. Chair lays out House Bill 4870. And recognizes Representative Howard to explain the bill, and the chair offers a committee substitute.
Thank you, Chairman and members. House Bill 4870 is about the math pathways. After the COVID-19 pandemic, we're all well aware of the cost of delayed learning on student achievement while still in grade school. This unfinished learning can have long-term effects on student success. Delays caused by unfinished learning limit students' ability to enroll in higher-level courses and achieve post-secondary success. For example, current statistics show that only 1 in 5 students whose highest high school math course was Algebra 2 earned a 2- or 4-year college degree or an industry certificate within 6 years of high school graduation. On the other hand, taking advanced math in middle and high school doubles the likelihood of attaining a post-secondary degree or credential. Today, we have an opportunity to accelerate student success despite the impact of the pandemic. Currently, middle school students are placed in advanced math courses when a teacher, counselor, or parent recommends the student be enrolled in those courses. However, there are many more students whose test scores and grades indicate that they are also ready to take advanced math courses that simply never receive the recommendation and are placed in a regular math class. House Bill 4870 requires districts to automatically place students that show appropriate proficiency in 5th grade math into advanced math courses in middle schools. Specifically, districts must adopt policies that allow students to opt out of being placed into advanced math courses when they score in the top 40% of 5th grade math assessments or coursework. The committee substitute, I'm sorry, I meant to mention that, the committee substitute, Mr. Chair.
I've laid it out.
Thank you. It's a legislative council draft, as we initially filed a non-ledge council draft. Additionally, it provides metrics that districts must use to determine whether a student qualifies for placement in a 6th grade advanced math course. Specifically, it states that students must place in the top 2 quintiles or 40% of the 5th grade state standardized assessment or a local measure that includes class score and or demonstrated proficiency in classwork. I also want to note that this legislation has already been heard in the Senate by Senator Creighton, Senate Bill 2124, and was unanimously passed out of committee. I look forward to your support, and we'll be happy to try to answer any questions and reserve the right to close.
All right. Thank you. Members, any questions for Representative Howard? All right. If not, we'll proceed with testimony. Chair calls Jennifer Sines. Good morning.
Good morning.
We show you registered as Jennifer Sines on behalf of the E3 Alliance, and you'll be testifying for the bill. Is that correct?
That is correct. Thank you. Honorable Chair Buckley and members of the House Public Education Committee, my name is Jennifer Cavasso Sines, testifying for the bill on behalf of E3 Alliance. Thank you for the opportunity to testify in support of House Bill 4870 by Representative Howard. We appreciate Representative Howard's continued leadership around providing access to diverse math pathways that align with students' college and career goals, a proven strategy in increasing access to advanced math and achieving higher rates of college readiness and long-term success. E3 Alliance data shows that taking advanced math in middle school and high school significantly increases students' post-secondary success and entry point wages in the workforce. Taking math all 4 years in high school doubles the likelihood of attaining a post-secondary credential, while students who take a college-aligned mathematics course in high school are 6 times more likely to complete post-secondary credential. Mathematical understanding is acquired through deepening concepts that continuously build upon prior knowledge and previously learned content. The math content that is learned in middle school is crucial for future success, and high-performing students showing potential for advanced math pathways must begin that sequence while in middle school. By identifying more students in Texas who are more than capable of advanced math pathways in middle school, we are increasing student access and opportunity to complete 4 years of math in high school and an opportunity for a 4th year being aligned course. The education and system in Texas currently does not have adequate identification structures in place to ensure students who demonstrated their ability to succeed in an advanced math pathway are in fact participating. In 2017, E3 Alliance studied the most recent cohort of 8th graders and looked at their 5th grade STAR test scores. This research found that students who scored in the top 40th percent of STAR test takers experienced high rates of success on advanced math middle pathways. In that same cohort study, fewer than 33% of our Black students and less than 46% of our Hispanic students with STAR scores in the top 20% quintile of Texas participated in a 5th grade who attended 8th grade in Central Texas. In a recent design exercise, E3 and partners discovered an anticipated 20,000 jobs will be available in the next 5 years in Central Texas alone. Yet currently, we only have roughly 350 students in the pipeline earning a credential or an associate's to fill the demand. HB 4870 creates a consistent statewide policy to ensure high-performing students are appropriately placed in accelerated math based on an objective measure of students' demonstrated ability to succeed, thereby increasing the number of students on a pathway towards post-secondary readiness. I appreciate the committee's consideration on this legislation, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
All right. Thank you. Members, any questions for this witness? All right. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Chair calls Joy Philpott. Good morning. We show you registered as Joy Philpott on behalf of Hayes CISD and yourself, and you'll be testifying for the bill. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Honorable Chair Buckley and members of the House Education Committee. My name is Joy Philpott, testifying for the bill on behalf of Hayes CISD. Thank you for the opportunity to testify in support of House Bill 4870 by Representative Howard. We appreciate Representative Howard's continued leadership around streamlining student mathematics pathways, a proven strategy in increasing access to advanced mathematics, and achieving higher rates of college readiness and success. In 2020, Hayes CISD instilled an opt-out policy for placing students on the advanced mathematics pathway. Since making this local policy shift for rising 6th grade students, our enrollment in middle school advanced mathematics courses and 8th grade algebra has grown by 29%, allowing over 200 additional students to participate and thrive with a more appropriate, rigorous, and challenging curriculum. These same students are also achieving higher rates of math proficiency, as evidenced by our increase in master's level performance in mathematics on STAR testing. This change in policy has shifted the culture of our schools to focus on students who need support in pursuing advanced academics, as well as those who need support in meeting grade level standards. Important elements of implementing this opt-out option are having data available as master schedules are being built and communication with students, parents, and teachers, as well as administration. Teachers encouraging students to challenge themselves is key to this process. Prior to having a policy in place, many students with high levels of math performance missed access to advanced math. This lack of access creates pathways for students who do not take advanced math courses in middle school, have a similar chance of taking advanced math courses beyond Algebra 2 in high school. By completing algebra in the 8th grade, students have the broadest opportunities to pursue college readiness courses, advanced career and technical education courses, or dual credit courses during their high school years. HB 4870 creates a consistent statewide policy to ensure high-performing students are placed into accelerated math, increasing the number of students on a pathway towards post-secondary readiness and success. I appreciate the committee's consideration on this legislation and am happy to answer any questions you may have.
All right. Thank you very much, members. Any questions for this witness? All right. I just want to thank you for what your district does in challenging kids and encouraging them to step out there, especially in mathematics. That's definitely needed in our state. So thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
All right. Chair calls Gabriel Grantham. Good morning. We show you registered as Gabriel Grantham on behalf of Texas 2036, testifying for the bill. Is that correct?
That is correct, sir.
Thank you.
As you said, my name is Gabe Grantham. I am an education policy analyst for Texas 2036, focusing on education issues, and I am testifying for the bill on behalf of Texas 2036. First of all, I want to thank Representative Howard for bringing forward such an important bill that doubles down on proven strategies that move the needle for post-secondary attainment for our students. Early access to Algebra 1 is a key driver in the long-term educational outcomes for students. By completing Algebra 1 in 8th grade, students have more opportunities to access advanced math courses their junior-senior year, as well as career exploration courses. Data shows that students who take 2 math courses beyond Algebra 2 are twice as likely to attain one of these post-secondary credentials. The bill is both an education and workforce bill. Right now, only 30% of Texas high school graduates obtain some sort of post-secondary credential within 6 years of graduating. By 2030, 62% of all jobs will require some sort of post-secondary credential. This bill will create a system that will increase the number of students taking these Algebra 1 courses in 8th grade, provide students with the opportunity to access these high level of mathematics in high school, and increase the odds of earning some sort of post-secondary credential. This bill will also ensure that the decision to enroll students in advanced math in middle school is based on student achievement data. This will ensure that we're not capping a student's ceiling for academic attainment due to a gut decision by adults. This legislation keeps parents in the driver's seat of their child's education, but ensures that the default course enrollment is based on data and students' historical achievement and create a statewide standard for enrollment in these advanced math pathways. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Members, any questions to this witness? All right, we appreciate you being here. Let the record show Representative Hinojosa is present. And also, there's an overflow room at E2028. E2028. Is there anyone else who wishes to testify on, for, or against House Bill 4870? If not, the chair recognizes Representative Howard to close on the bill. And let the record show that Vice Chair Allen is present.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. I think you've heard from the testimony that this is an objective, evidence-based measure that we can take to ensure that more students have opportunities to successfully achieve post-secondary success and move us toward our goal of a talent-ready, talent-strong Texas. And I would appreciate your favorable consideration.
All right.
I close.
All right.
Thank you.
The committee substitute is withdrawn, and if there's no objection, the bill will be left pending. Is there objection, Chair? Here's none. The bill is left pending. Chair lays out House Bill 3610 and recognizes Representative Clardy to explain the bill.
Thank you, Chairman Buckley and members. Honor to be before you to lay out the seizure management plan bill. HB 3610 directs the TEA to create a standardized form for the management and treatment of students with epilepsy or other conditions likely to result in seizure. Some of you may recall in the 86 legislative session, with your help, we passed HB 684, known as Sam's Law. It was named after Samantha Watkins, a constituent of mine in Kilgore, Texas, who died tragically following an epileptic seizure suffered at school. I'm very pleased and proud to let you know Sam's Law has been the model used by many, many other states around the country since being made law here in Texas. What Sam's Law does, it recognizes seizure recognition and first aid training for certain school personnel and allows parents to submit a seizure action plan to the child's school. This plan, written by the child's parents and with the physician's aid, lets the school know what to do if the child suffers a seizure during school. However, Sam's Law is not specific about what information should be included in the seizure action plan, and as a result, parents have submitted a variety of different forms, paperwork, materials with a lot of variety and missing some information and completeness. The non-standardized nature of these seizure action plans can make it difficult for school nurses or administrators to find relevant information like a student's medication regime or treatment plan during the frantic moments following the onset of a seizure. Simply said, what HB 36 does, it's an upgrade of Sam's Law that specifies what information should be included in a seizure action plan, directs the TEA to create a standardized form for parents, teachers, nurses, and administrators to work with when a student has a medical condition likely to result in a seizure. The form will be modeled after the National Epilepsy Foundation standard, and you should have in your materials a copy of that form, which is a very, very strong model to be used by the TEA to make this form and require it for use in Texas public schools. So a copy of that is for you to review. There is no fiscal note on this bill. I believe we have a couple of witnesses, and I would respectfully reserve the right to close.
All right, members, any questions for Representative Clardy? All right, we'll reserve your right to close. Chair calls Daniel Friedman. All right, good morning. We show you registered as Daniel Friedman on behalf of the Texas Neurological Society and yourself, and you'll be testifying for the bill. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Buckley and committee members for having me here today. Dr. Daniel Friedman, I'm a neurologist representing the Texas Neurological Society, and I'm here to testify in favor of HB 3610. I'm a neurologist at Dell Children's Medical Center and Dell Medical School just down the road from here. I treat children with seizures every single day. And one of the most important things I do is I create a seizure action plan for those children to make sure that they have a safe plan at school on how to stop a seizure if one happens at school. The problem right now is that every school district has a different form that they want. And so even if I write what is our standard form, the school district may come back and say, well, that's not the form we use. And so the best standard we have is the Epilepsy Foundation standard that Representative Clardy suggested. And what this bill will do is basically make that the TEA recommended standard throughout the state. And I think that's a really important issue because then it'll help alleviate any sort of confusion between parents if they get one plan for me and then we have to fill out a slightly different form for the school with slightly different information in between. Any amount of confusion about what information is on that form could potentially delay care for a child with seizures. And so we want to make this as standard as possible, as simple as possible, and make sure that we can continue to administer the best care for children with seizures in the state of Texas. So with that, I also want to thank Representative Clardy's support for this issue. He's been a champion, and Sam's Law really did set the standard throughout the country, and so we want to continue to be at the forefront of that. I'm happy to take any questions.
All right, members, any questions for Dr. Friedman? All right, we appreciate you being here. Chair calls Dylan Bricker. Good morning. We show you registered as Dylan Bricker on behalf of the Epilepsy Foundation, Central and South Texas, and be testifying for the bill. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members. My name is Dylan Bricker. I am a policy fellow with the Epilepsy Foundation of Central and South Texas. I want to thank Representative Clardy for introducing this bill and being a great advocate for people living with epilepsy. Thank you for the opportunity to speak this morning. In 2019, the Epilepsy Foundation worked with Representative Clardy and Senator Hughes to help pass Sam's Law, which requires all Texas public policy personnel whose duties include regular contact with students to be trained in seizure recognition and seizure first aid. Sam's Law ensures that Texas public schools are well equipped with the tools necessary to provide a safe and enriching environment. The seizure treatment plan that was created by the Texas Education Agency under Sam's Law was a great first step in moving forward seizure care for our students. However, an issue with the form currently in place that it does not have statewide standardized requirements for the information that is required to be on the plan. This bill would greatly improve the standard of care that is given to a student that has a seizure during school hours by giving school personnel a more detailed history of a student's medical history and the exact steps to be taken if a student has a seizure. Every case of epilepsy is different, and there are many different types of seizures that can happen in different forms. Epilepsy is the fourth most common neurological disorder in the world, and 1 in 26 people are diagnosed with epilepsy during their lifetime. There are tens of thousands of children living with epilepsy in Texas, which means that in a school with 1,000 students, at least 6 students will be living with epilepsy. It is important that we continue to raise awareness for this disease, and I ask for your vote in favor of this bill to give our Texas children living with epilepsy the ability to go to school in an environment where they'll be cared for, supported, and can feel safe, knowing that they'll be able to receive the medical care that they deserve. Thank you so much for your time.
All right, thank you, members. Representative Schaefer.
Thank you for your testimony. So, we got over 1,000 school districts in the state of Texas.
Right.
How many students with these types of plans on file with their schools right now? I don't guess we really know that number.
Yeah, I don't have that number on me. I can find that number for you and get that to your office if you'd
Well,
like.
I guess my question is here, this would require all those forms that are on file with all those school districts become obsolete.
Yes.
And we're now requiring all those administrators to do new paperwork. What are we accomplishing?
So currently, every school district in the state, every school district has a different form. So right now, this really just adds to the information that is required for schools to provide for, on the form. So parents and.
But the parents have voluntarily filled out this information about their child based on what they know about their child and submitted that to the school. Why is that not sufficient?
Right.
Is this just to create a standard form so that the people that monitor this can make it easier to collect data and put it into a database, or is this to actually change anything about what happens with the child?
Right. So currently, every different form is different. So it's going to be able to give doctors and parents the ability to have the same information going forward. And so every school can just know what they need to have for.
So do we know if the forms that they're on file at the schools right now are insufficient?
I don't have that information right now.
So what? Okay. Got it.
Representative Harrison.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for being here. I actually had a similar question, which is, do the forms that are currently being utilized for the purposes that the new form would serve, is there a reason to think there are infirmities with the form, or that they are not working for those school districts or for those parents? Like, are there problems with the current forms as they are currently being operationalized within the various ISDs?
I mean, yes, there is. So, yeah. So, okay. I'm sorry, I wasn't prepared.
No. It's okay. It's okay. Would it be? Do you know if it would be retroactive, or just prospective? Like, with the schools that have forms that maybe are working for those school districts and the parents in those school districts, would they be required under this bill, if it was passed, to change their forms, or could they keep what's working for them and just prospectively utilize the new forms?
So it would retroactively, right? Yeah. Okay. It would retroactively change that.
Thank you, Chair.
All right, members, any more questions for this witness? All right, we thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who wishes to testify on, for, or against House Bill 3610? If not, the chair recognizes Representative Clardy to close on the bill.
Thank you, Chairman Buckley, and I appreciate the members' thoughtful questions. Let me address in reverse order. This is the form that's being proposed. It's a very simple form, and the reason this is important, let's imagine right now, Brian, that Oscar Longoria has a seizure this morning, falls down. We will all have a very panicked reaction to that. That's a natural reaction. And so when you're trying to get the information, you want to have this in the same form that you've looked at, that you've been trained on. This is a training method. So every teacher in Texas goes through a program that's online that they're required to watch this process. I'll tell you this, one of the gratifying things about this job that we are honored to do is every once in a while we get something right, and we actually do some good. And since we've passed this law, I've gotten a dozen calls, emails, and notes from teachers around the state, including my niece, who didn't have him to school, but their son had a seizure in the middle of the night, and she knew how to react to that emergency in the moment to take medical care for her son. So this has really made a difference in lives. But what happens in school, the school nurse goes in there and pulls, and there's a file, or the administrator, whoever's responding, and if they know to look in this box of this form for these are the medications being taken, this is the diagnosis, and here's the recommended treatment, there's no looking around, because doctors are doing their very best in our small towns around Texas. They are filling out they're producing a piece of paper to comply and provide that at the parent's request, but there's no uniformity. Good faith effort, the parents want it. There is, by the way, and where this goes, Representative Harrison, this will go into I'm assuming the school nurse's file, but it's not retroactive in the sense they're going to go back and make you do a new form now, but year to scholastic year, and it's a campus document. It doesn't go, there's no centralized collection of data that's reported somewhere. This is a campus document that goes in the appropriate place where everybody knows where it is, how to deal with this administrator. So I would say it's not retroactive, but next scholastic year, I am certain as students change campuses, go to different locations, move to different communities, they will submit a new action plan, but we'll have uniformity. And again, our teachers, our administrators, they routinely, as you well know, go through classes and teaching and training. And I'm sure this will be one of the points in that training that they know. So here's the form you look at. Here's what you need to do. So that's what the purpose of this is. It's really a simple, but I think it's important, again, upgrade of what we've done. I think it's going to improve care. We've done a lot of good, but we can do more. So happy to answer any questions. Representative Schaefer, is there something else that you would ask that I'm forgetting? I always usually remember your questions because they're so good.
Representative Schaefer.
Flattery will get you nowhere.
For a good question.
I appreciate that. Do you think it would be possible to make it very clear that this is not retroactive and that it's going forward? Just so we, when we talk to our schools, it's always, will you go to Austin? And then after every session, it's one more thing. And this is one more thing.
I'm incredibly sensitive to the mandate issue, particularly unfunded mandates. I shouldn't point out there is no fiscal note on this. But yes, this would not be applied retroactively. I think that's something we could clean up in the rulemaking, with the rulemaking authority of the TEA and the instructions we give them with this bill.
All right. Any more questions?
Thank you, members. Respectfully closed, and would appreciate your favorable consideration. And if your wisdom, you think this would go to the local consent calendar, we'd be more than happy to do whatever gets this bill passed the fastest.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. If there's no objection, the bill will be left pending. Is there objection? Chair hears none. The bill is left pending. Chair lays out House Bill 2285 and recognizes Representative Noble to explain the bill, and the chair offers a committee substitute.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee, for allowing me the opportunity to lay out House Bill 2285. And the committee substitute is simply a council draft of the filed bill. This is a local bill. Community ISD, located in my House district, had a board of trustees that voted many years ago to hold their elections every 4 years. They made that decision based solely on how expensive it is to hold an election. But the result is that more than half of the school board member seats are open and up for re-election at the same time. This doesn't give the board the stability or institutional knowledge necessary for the school district's needs in this fast-growing area. Unfortunately, state law does not allow the flexibility for local independent school board of trustees to change their terms of office for their board without state approval. So here we are. This bill will give this specific ISD a narrow time frame to adjust their terms for their elected trustees. I'm happy to answer any questions and reserve the right to close.
All right, members, any questions for Representative Noble? All right, seeing none. Okay. Is there anyone else who wishes to testify on, for, or against House Bill 2285? If not, Chair recognizes Representative Noble to close on the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I respectfully request passage.
All right, the committee substitute is withdrawn. If there's no objection, the bill will be left pending. Is there objection? Chair hears none. The bill is left pending. Chair lays out House Bill 4656 and recognizes Representative Timish to explain the bill. The chair offers a committee substitute.
Yes, thank you for that. Good morning. Thank you, Chairman Buckley, Vice Chair Allen, and committee members. I appreciate the opportunity to lay out House Bill 4656. This bill directs the State Board of Educator Certification, or SBEC, to issue temporary certificates to qualified out-of-state educators immediately upon applying for certification in Texas. As we all know, Texas is facing a shortage of highly qualified educators, and school districts across the state are struggling to find candidates that can provide the high-quality education Texans expect of our public schools. Out-of-state educators are already credentialed and come with experience in their field. Unfortunately, Texas schools are experiencing difficulty attracting these candidates because the process for getting certified in Texas is onerous and can take up to a year. Many out-of-state educators are unwilling to wait for the green light to start teaching in Texas. In addition, schools have a short hiring window due to academic calendars and hiring contract requirements. The end result is that Texas schools are missing out on opportunities to attract top-quality educators to the schools. This bill would require the State Board of Educator Certification to immediately issue a temporary certificate for applicants who already hold an equivalent certification from another state. Their certificate would last 1 year and would serve as a stopgap for qualified educators who are waiting for SBEC to review their credentials. While current statute allows SBEC to issue a temporary certificate under similar circumstances, this decision is still up to SBEC's discretion, and the credential review process can take time. This bill would allow prospective educators to begin working immediately while SBEC reviews their credentials. We've heard of cases where a teacher has applied for a temporary certificate in the summer and did not receive certification until October. We all know schools start in August. We've heard from multiple ISDs, some even close to state lines and near multiple state lines, that the out-of-state certification process is too time-consuming and resource-intensive to be worth the effort. Reform of the out-of-state certification process is essential for public education in this state. Chairman Buckley, Vice Chair Allen, and members, thank you for allowing me to lay out this bill. I'm happy to answer any questions.
All right, members, any questions for Representative Timish? All right,
I could reserve my right to close.
we will do that.
Thank you.
Chair calls Alexandra Spiegelman. Alexandra Spiegelman. Okay, we're going to show Alexandra Spiegelman on behalf of Gregory Portland ISD. Right, Alexandra Spiegelman. Sorry about that. Didn't realize how.
I'm a little out of breath. I was next door.
Get your breath. All right. We show you registered as Alexandra Spiegelman on behalf of Gregory Portland ISD, and you'll be testifying for the bill. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Alrighty, good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. My name is Allie Spiegelman, and I am a communications specialist on behalf of Gregory Portland ISD, and I'm here this morning to testify for House Bill 4656 on behalf of Gregory Portland ISD. House Bill 4656 calls for the creation of temporary teaching certificates for educators who are certified in states other than Texas. Now, it also includes an amendment for counselors and librarians. So I began my career as a broadcast reporter and anchor in Corpus Christi and then later Amarillo, Texas. I have a professional and personal commitment to reporting what is true and transparent, and that is why I'm here today. I moved from Amarillo to Refugio, Texas back in 2021 for personal reasons. Once I was there, I saw an opportunity to give back through education, and I pursued an alternative teaching certification and became a 6th grade science teacher at Refugio ISD. In obtaining an alternative certification, I found that the process was daunting, expensive, incredibly time-consuming, a little discouraging, and in my opinion, having experienced it, not ideal for attracting professionals to become teachers in Texas. Now, there are many other reasons why the alternative certification program in Texas could be more effective in helping address current teacher shortage, including low pay for teachers, lack of public respect for educators, and more. So that is why there is a need to improve and consider new avenues for addressing the teacher shortage in really any way that the state could do so. Support of this bill would achieve exactly that. I have a former colleague who earned her teaching certification in the state of Arizona. She moved to Refugio from that state and is now employed there as an overqualified paraprofessional. Her school district, like so many, is facing the challenge of having more open teaching positions than it can fill. Yet because there is no avenue for her to utilize her existing teaching certification from the state of Arizona to teach in the state of Texas, she is working in a position that she is now overqualified for and unable to provide aid for. Mrs. Wills and I are two individuals who have experienced difficulties with the existing alternative certification program in Texas and who would both attest, as I am doing so before you this morning, that supporting House Bill 4656 would be a credit to this governing body for its action to address the statewide teacher shortage and support new and innovative pathways to ultimately benefit Texas school children. Allowing qualified teachers like Mrs. Wills the ability and opportunity to fill vacant teaching positions across the state is the intention of House Bill 4656. I am full support of this legislation. Thank you for your time.
Good time. Very good. Members, any questions for this witness? All right, we appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Chair calls Randy Davis. We show you registered as Randy Davis on behalf of yourself, and you'll be testifying for the bill. Is that correct?
That's correct, but I'm also testifying on behalf of Carrollton Farmers Branch ISD and Human Resources folks across the state.
All right, hold up just one second. Let's make sure we get that registered. You got it? Carrollton. All right, so we So you're Randy Davis on behalf of Carrollton Farmers Branch ISD and yourself testifying for the bill.
That's correct.
Okay. All right, you may begin.
Chairman Buckley, Vice Chairman Allen, thank you for allowing me to come in today to talk about this bill. We know the teacher shortage across the nation is growing as universities are reporting declining enrollment in traditional teacher prep programs, and teachers are leaving the profession at an increased rate. According to a March 2022 Education Week article, the American Association for Teachers of Education released a report on the state of teacher preparation. Using 10 years of federal data from 2008, 2009 to 2018, 2019, the number of people completing a teacher prep program declined by almost 1/3, with traditional programs being 35%. Additionally, my colleagues in ISDs across Texas are seeing a big reduction in applicants, especially in high-need areas of bilingual and special education. This leads to districts stretching thin their existing workforce to educate our children, thus exacerbating the dilemma. Our ISDs need your help to add to our toolbox of recruiting strategies, including the ability to offer contract positions to out-of-state teachers, knowing this revised code affirms your support. House Bill 4656 changes the vernacular of the code, stating the certificate shall be issued. Having this verbiage that a one-year certificate will be issued gives confidence to district human resource departments across Texas by saying that if a teacher from another state meets the criteria, their certificate will be issued. Teachers moving to Texas also need assurances that a job will be offered in order to make a move. This bill levels the playing field for all Texas districts by affirming the opportunity to recruit and hire teachers from out of state, as well as allowing both special education and bilingual teachers from out of state to move to Texas with the security of a job, and with knowledge that there will be additional steps to secure a regular certificate during that first year of teaching in Texas. We implore you to consider this bill as a tool to help your ISDs to begin to address the myriad of challenges we currently face with recruiting and hiring teachers from out of state and into our classrooms. I urge you to vote yes for the bill. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Members, any questions for this witness? All right, we really appreciate you being here. Chair calls Sophia DiLoretto Chudy. Maybe in the other room. Sophia DiLoretto Chudy. I believe it's Chuddy. Okay, we're going to show. Watch the door open right after I do this, but that's okay. We're going to show Sophia DiLoretto Chuddy on behalf of herself, registered for the bill, but not testifying. Is there anyone else who wishes to testify on, for, or against House Bill 4656? If not, Chair recognizes Representative Timish to close on the bill.
All right. Well, thank you. If there's no questions, I close.
All right. All right. The committee substitute is withdrawn, and if there's no objection, the bill will be left pending. Is there objection? Chair hears none. The bill is left pending. Can you get Dr. Allen to do this one? Is that the only?
Chair lays out House Bill 3708 and recognizes Representative Buckley to explain the bill.
All right. Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee, for this opportunity to lay out House Bill 3708. In 2021, Texas created an avenue for public schools to grant UIL access to homeschool students by passing House Bill 547. And now we want to ensure our public schools are receiving funding for those homeschool students who choose to participate in UIL activities. Currently, there are only 39 schools and likely fewer than 150 students participating in UIL equal access programs statewide. House Bill 3708 provides support to the public schools who have taken on new students through House Bill 547 from the 2021 legislative session. House Bill 3708 would allow school districts to receive an allotted amount for each homeschool student who participates in UIL extracurricular activities in their district, equal to $1,500 per student per activity. This funding should provide meaningful support to these schools who've taken on extra students but aren't currently receiving funding for them. These schools bear institutional costs for the UIL programs, but don't receive full funding for those homeschool students. And the $1,500 amount is designed to recognize the part-time nature of these students, but also provide meaningful support to the schools. We do have a contingency rider in Article 11 of the budget. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have, and I'd like to reserve my right to close.
Members, are there any questions? If there are no questions, we'll proceed to testimony. Chair calls Jamie Harrison. Jamie Harrison. Mr. Harrison, I show you as Deputy Director representing the UIL, and you're neutral on the bill.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Proceed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, I'm here to answer questions. The chair did a great job of laying out the bill. The schools who are choosing to allow homeschool students to participate are currently doing that on their own dime, and this would certainly offer them great support.
Members, are there any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Chair calls Anita Scott. Anita Scott. Scott, I show you representing the Texas Homeschool Coalition, and you are for the bill.
Yes, ma'am.
Proceed.
Thank you. Chairman Buckley and members, thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Anita Scott, and I am representing the Texas Homeschool Coalition, testifying in support of House Bill 3708. THSC is the largest statewide advocacy organization for homeschooling and family rights in Texas. We advocate for the interests of up to 700,000 homeschool students in Texas. In a 2021 bipartisan effort, Texas passed House Bill 547, which allowed for homeschool students to participate in UIL-sanctioned extracurricular activities within their school district. Now, THSC wants to make sure our public schools are receiving funding when homeschool families opt to participate in UIL extracurricular activities. Currently, there are 39 schools and likely fewer than 150 students participating in the UIL Access Program statewide. HB 3708 would allow school districts to receive an allotted amount of funding for each homeschool student who participates in UIL extracurricular activities in their district, equal to $1,500 per student per activity. This funding should provide meaningful support to these schools who have taken on extra students but aren't currently receiving funding for them. These schools bear institutional costs for their UIL programs but don't fully receive funding for these homeschool students, and the $1,500 number is designed to recognize the part-time nature of these students but also provide meaningful support to the schools. With that, I thank the committee for your time and welcome any questions.
Members, are there any questions for the witness? Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all, I'm sure.
That's all?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If there are no more questions, is there anyone else who wish to testify on, for, or against House Bill 3708? If not, the chair recognizes Representative Buckley to close on the bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a couple of things about the program we have now. It is permissive. School districts, boards elect whether or not to allow homeschool students to participate. Currently, we have, in my district, where I live, Salado ISD accepts, and they have several students. They've been pleased with the participation. It's been a great opportunity to bring the community together and allow young folks to participate. And this bill would simply allow them to receive some of the some funding to offset the cost of operating those activities. And if there are any more any additional questions, I ask for your favorable consideration on this bill, and I close.
Thank you. If there are no objections, the bill will be left pending. Are there any objections? Hearing none, the bill will be left pending. Thank you.
Close.
Yeah, I say we have about maybe 5 minutes.
Okay. Okay. All right. I guess we'll just hold up then. Members, it looks like we need to stop here for this morning. We thought we might have one more bill to get in, but we're not going to have the opportunity to do that. If there's no objection, the committee will stand in recess until final adjournment or recess of the House or during reading and referral of bills if permission is granted. The chair hears no objection. The Committee on Public Education now stands in recess.